All right, so I think everybody here was in the last training, but this will be recorded on the website. So I'll just do a quick introduction. I am Scott Redenbaugh. I am your resource development specialist here at the United Way. I'll be working hand in hand with you over the course of your workplace campaigns and looking forward to get to know everybody. I want to do we'll introduce the United Way team here. And then for those of you that are workplace champions, if you just want to put your workplace into the chat box or into your job, into your title on your box, that would be great. So I'll go ahead and start with Lakin, and then we can just pass it on.
Great. I am Lakin Jefferson. I work with our major and planned givers at United Way as part of the resource development department. So I'll pop it to Madeline, who is also on our.
Hello, I'm Madeline. I am also on the resource development team, and I am the operations specialist. So if you have questions about campaign materials or behind the scenes things, those would be for me, and I'll pop it over to Amy.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Amy. I'm on the marketing and engagement team. So my role is actually to work hand in hand with you all and plan some engagement opportunities as part of your campaign. That can look like volunteering and or advocacy. And I'll pop it over to Zenny.
Good morning, I'm Zenny. I am the Impact and Engagement Assistant here at United Way, and I'll pass it to Jennifer.
Good morning, everyone. Jennifer Teske, Vice President of Resource Development at United Way. I want to welcome everyone here, and I have the privilege of working with all of these wonderful people and heading up the resource development staff here.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody. I know most of you probably know we had hoped to do this at least as a hybrid thing, but trying to be safe and be respectful of you and your companies. So this one and the next training on Thursday at noon will all be online. Also, you can always reach out to us if you have questions, and everything that we mentioned here will be sent to you or on our website for you to be able to find as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little presentation on some campaign best practices and ideas. I assume everybody can see my screen. Sorry, it's blocking me here. So this training is all about how to run an effective workplace campaign and some of the best practices that we've seen, and then we'll go over some of the materials. You'll hear from everybody that did introductions as well to talk to you about their areas and how you can work with them. And then we'll just do a little bit of discussion afterwards. We've got a small enough group that I think we could actually have a pretty good discussion. So first step towards running a workplace campaign, you're gonna need to recruit a team. This is not something you really wanna do by yourself, if can at all be avoided. 2 or more employees is ideal. You'll want to have help. You want to have not only someone to share the burden with, or not the burden, but the opportunity with, as well as somebody to help you come up with ideas. You know, sometimes it can be challenging to be creative on your own, but when you have somebody to work with or a team to work with, you can really come up with some engaging, interesting ideas. So try to think of people that you work with from different departments. Make sure that you, one, are getting as much different perspectives as you possibly can. Somebody that works, for instance, in a warehouse might not be the same as somebody that works in an admin office. And you working together might be able to come up with ideas that are going to appeal to the whole cross section of whatever your company is. You're also going to want to set up a regular team meeting to keep yourself and your team accountable. Keep checking in and make sure that you're sharing best practices in those meetings. Next thing you're going to want to do, this is pretty important, set dates. You're not going to be able to have a campaign if you don't know when you're going to have a campaign. So make sure that you set the dates, and very important to me and to Jennifer and all of us at United Way is to let us know those dates and let us know as soon as possible. So as soon as you've figured out when you're going to do it, please let me know. And I'm going to put my email in the chat box as well again. at the end of this. So you can reach out to me and let me know so I can make sure that you are getting all the support from us that you need. Determine your timeline. Larger companies might take more time. If you have a huge staff, it might take you a month. If you have a 6-person staff, it might take you a week or 2 weeks. So it's up to you, but realize that when you're trying to get a lot of people to contribute, it might take you a little bit more time. When you're setting out those dates, make sure that you are also looking at what your goals are going to be. Say by this date, I would like to have raised this much. By the next date, I'd like to be here. And then also make sure that you are scheduling out your events. If you're going to do a dunk tank, if you're going to do a chili cook-off, make sure you schedule those in advance and work with your workplace as well to make sure that you can use the rooms and the resources that you need for each of those different events. And finally, make sure that you are very clear with the kickoff and finish dates. There's nothing you're going to like less than when somebody comes to you with a pledge card a week after your campaign's over. So be sure that you have communicated all of that to the staff. Set goals. You'll have in your materials, which I'll go over at the end of the presentation here, a sheet that says what you raised in the last 2 years. And then you can kind of see where you're trending. Try to set something that's within a reasonable amount above that. And then you'll be able to use that as your own resource there. But so your goal should be challenging. It should be something that you actually have to work towards, but it should be something that you're achievable. You don't want to lower your confidence in running a campaign by setting something that was so high and then not meet it and then feel dispirited for next year. Try to achieve something that you know you can, and make sure that you're using that data in terms of helping you set that. So feel free to reach out to me again about if you need help doing that. I'm more than happy to sit down with you and talk to you about that. So your campaign meetings, this is with your team. Make sure that you are having informal meetings. Keep it casual, make people want to be there. Don't make it overly formal to where people are going to be, if they're going because they have to. Make it so that they want to be there. Also, you can use our speakers bureau, which will generally be someone from the United Way here, either on our leadership team or myself, or possibly someone else who will come and talk to your kickoff, talk to your staff and let them know, what we're up to at the United Way and why it's so important for them to get involved. We also have videos that you can use that are on the campaign resources page that I'll go over in a bit. Planning your volunteer project. This is something Amy will talk more in depth about later. It can really make a difference in helping your campaign, because you're going to be able to see where the money's going and what United Way actually does. Sometimes that can be, we're such a large, we give to a large amount of different not-for-profits. So sometimes it's hard for people to grasp what exactly it is we do. If you plan that engagement project, they'll see it hands-on and they'll be enriched by being able to have helped out as well. So, and you'll have a nice team building effort that really does make a difference in a lot of workplaces to have had that experience. Best thing is we can organize this for you. Again, Amy will talk about this. This is not something you'll have to organize on your own. We will work with you and make sure that we get the right project for you. Something that's very important, not just in campaigns, but in life, you need to recognize people that are giving consistently. If somebody is consistently giving and upping their donations, make sure that you're recognizing that. Make sure that you're thanking them. Good to organize a meeting to thank employees that gave over 500 annually. That will qualify them for our Leaders in Giving program, which Lakin will discuss later as well. And recognize employees that have been giving to the United Way for 10 years or more. That's really substantial, and it's something to be recognized. Communication, as always, is key. I know a lot of people on this meeting are business people, so you know this, but make sure that you're publicizing this anywhere you can. Announce campaign dates, goals, other important information anywhere that you can so that everybody knows it. Don't just do it on a piece of paper, do it on emails, do it in person. Make sure you're communicating via every avenue you possibly can. And again, this is very important. make sure you're thanking people. They want to feel appreciated, and I want to make sure that you feel appreciated. So I'm saying to you right now, thank you. At the end of your campaign, very important, we will need your results back. So be sure you collect all your pledge forms, checks, cash, and special event dollars, and put them in your provided envelopes. Those will be in your resources, or your materials that are given to you. I've got those that I'll go over with you as well here, just so you can see everything. And then meet with your United Way representative. That'll probably be me, but make sure you meet with us so we can debrief, talk about what went right, talk about things that we could improve next year, for your own purposes and for ours, whether you remain the workplace champion or not. It's good for us to know, so that whoever we work with in the future, we can say, oh, well, this went well that last year. Help me make it better for you next year. Now, this is really important to me as well. Stay in touch. You know, your campaign is not the only time to do an engagement opportunity. Make sure that you are contacting us so that we can get you engaged throughout the year. There's always need, and there's always availability for your help. So please stay in touch, as well as let me know, you know, what I can do throughout the year as well. Anybody here at the United Way is happy to be working with you. So just please don't just contact us during campaign time. Contact us all year round. One of the most important things as well here at the end, make sure that you're sharing things on social media and tagging us. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So wherever you engage with people, please post pictures, show everybody how much of a good time you're having, and tag us so that we can then amplify those efforts as well. So now I'm just going to go over some campaign tools. I'll go over the website first, so you can see where you can find a lot of the things that are actually also going to be in your physical materials. This is the campaign resources page off of our website. This will be sent to you in an email as well afterwards, so that you can just have a quick link to it. A lot of the things in the campaign basics tab will be in your materials basket as well. Workplace Champions Toolkit is something I'll show you in a bit. This will basically walk you through the entire how to run a campaign, and you'll have a physical copy in your bag. This trainings, everything that we've done here will be uploaded there, so you can refer back to the trainings for your workplace campaign, as well as for your own personal enjoyment. If you just like watching these videos, you can click on that anytime and sit back and relax and watch it. Campaign planning timeline, this will give you an idea of what it looks like to plan out the campaign, make sure that you're doing everything, and gives you simple tick boxes to complete around each week. This virtual pledge form, Madeline will go over later, but this is an instructional video that you can refer back to as well on how to do that if your employees would rather do their pledge forms online. A brochure will also be in your materials. And then for your own marketing reasons, so we have our logos here. You might want to make a PowerPoint for your presentation. Some of our workplaces do that, and it's pretty effective. So if you need to use that for your marketing materials, that's what it's there for. Some marketing stuff. Once you join us, we played this in the first video, or sorry, the first training. That you can use as at your kickoff to get people a little bit more amped up, as well as impact stories. These are stories that are of people that have actually been impacted by our local United Way here, as well as the flyers, which are in your materials as well. All the posters that are in your materials are here, and our micro event series, which we have a physical copy, but you can click here, will tell you. Usually we do a big campaign kickoff for the United Way. Instead of doing that this year, we're doing a series of micro events, and you can click on these to find out more about each one. It's a clickable PDF here. Again, that physical copy of that is in your materials as well. 21-day equity challenge. This is something that's really exciting. I'm not going to get into it because Amy's going to talk about it in depth, but it's something that we're really trying to stress here. And then incentives. Jennifer will talk about this, but it is our incentive to win a 2-year lease from Rochester Motor Cars. So it's just a flyer for that, and you can use that in your marketing as well. all this communicate your campaign stuff is really tips and templates that you can use for letters or for messaging for how you want to communicate to your campaigns. I won't go into these in depth, but you can click on them and see all your different options there. It's pretty self-explanatory. One thing I do want to say, Speakers Bureau request form, if you want to request somebody to come to your kickoff, you can use this form or you can just email me and we can get that set up for you. Recognition awards as well. This is the criteria for winning awards. I know we've got at least one award winner on the call, so this kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking for when we're awarding people for their participation. Then campaign experiences. This will be more what we go over in the third training, but these are just different events, whether in person, virtual, suggestions, and then some actual activities that you can download and use yourself for your employees. Again, this will be covered more in depth in the third training. And then lastly, donor groups. This will be covered by Lakin, but these are our different groups within the United Way. So I'm gonna quit sharing my screen. I'm just gonna show you your physical material real quick, and then I'll kick it off. So in your bag, you'll get a water bottle, and as well as two of the most important things. This is your special events envelope. So money that you raise that's not a pledge, it will all go in here. This is your pledge form envelope. So make sure that you fill out all of this information and get it back to us at the end of your campaign. You'll also have a sheet. I'm not going to show you this one because I don't want to divulge another company's information, but it will have what you raised last year and give you an idea, last few years, and give you an idea of what you can expect to raise this year. Also, the contacts on it on the left-hand side, please double check those and make sure that if there's any changes that you let me know so we can update it in our system and make sure that we're consistent and talking to the right people. You will also get a book from our Imagination Library. This is just kind of an example to show you our focus on education. You remember the 3 pillars: health, education, and financial stability. This is an example of education, and you can use this as you see fit in your campaign as like as a physical example of here's education, and then show the book. You will have the physical pledge forms here. These should be self-explanatory, but if you need help with that, it's no problem. You just have the employees fill it out here. Something Shields did, which I thought was very effective, they had at their campaign kickoff, had people fill out the first part of it, just their contact information as proof of attendance at their meeting. So I thought that was a very effective practice because I think when people start filling out the form, they might be slightly more likely to continue filling it out. 211 cards. This is an important thing that we are doing at the United Way. It's the basically social service 911. If you have an emergency that isn't in it, an immediate, I need an ambulance, this is who you call, and they connect you with, they're not even an emergency, but if you have a situation that you need help with, they will connect you with the right provider to get you on the way. And then we have brochures. Well, I should have a batch of these. This just will go over basics of what United Way is, and then good to have at your campaign kickoff. Posters, thermometer. This will help you measure your goal and make it a little more fun for everybody in your office. These are the impact posters. These are all people that have been directly impacted by the United Way here. Put these up around your workplace. And then this one is also a good example to use during your kickoff, just to put into perspective how much, if you were to give $5 per pay period, which is, 1 cup of coffee, that would give us 8 backpacks. So that, and then it ramps up from there. But it gives you an example and it helps you be able to physically point to something when you're presenting to your employees. And then last, you'll have this folder. It has a Caring Club card. A lot of different businesses in Olmsted County participate in this for discounts and everything for people that have supported United Way. You will have a messaging document. just give you a little some tips on how to talk about the United Way. And then a couple impact flyers. These are the people that were on the posters, tells you a little bit more about their stories and how United Way was able to help them. Information on single care. This is our prescription savings card. And then your calendar of events, your toolkit, which will again spell out exactly how to run a campaign. This is very important for you to be able to refer back to. And then my business card with my name, email, and phone number here at the United Way. So that's all my information for you for now. And I will go ahead and kick it over to Jennifer to talk about incentives.
Thanks, everyone. Excuse me. So I get to really talk about the fun stuff. I know that Scott is doing a really good job with supporting campaign, and I'm very appreciative to the resource development staff and everything that they do to support you as workplace champions. I want to thank you also just being a workplace champion. I think that by the title of this training, you probably understand that we understand that sometimes you are voluntold to do this. We really appreciate your help because without your help, we wouldn't be able to raise as many dollars in our community as possible. So we really depend on you and your excitement and encouragement of your fellow colleagues to support a really great cause and people in need in Olmsted County. So that being said, the fun stuff that I get to talk about is our incentives. And I'm really excited this year to be able to provide some really creative and fun incentives for giving. And the one that I want to talk to you right now about is our car drawing. So yes, if you give to United Way, you have a chance to win a 2-year lease that's provided by Rochester Motor Cars. So we really want to thank Rochester Motor Cars for doing this. And I will be sharing the website here that actually describes that in very detailed format. So if you have any questions, please refer to the website. We also will provide you with a promotional piece that you can share with people. But in case you're wondering, because I'm sure that you'll have people ask, what are the cars that you get a chance to win the 2-year lease on? And that would be a 2022 Chevy Trailblazer, a 2022 Ford Maverick, a 2021 Mazda CX-30, or a 2021 Toyota Camry. So anyone, no matter the dollar size given to United Way of Olmsted County by December 31st, will be put into a drawing for this 2-year lease. I would really encourage you to also use props as you are explaining some of these incentives and to remind yourself of what to talk about when you are doing that campaign kickoff. I typically have a Matchbox car with me at all times right now. However, I think my son took all my Matchbox cars because I cannot find one this morning to show you. So I would encourage you just to get a Matchbox car because it is phenomenal what that visual does for people. We saw it at our Shields kickoff, which was our first kickoff. And that was probably the most exciting piece of their kickoff. Probably not the most important, but one of the most exciting. So use that Matchbox car. And I'm going to show you where that website is. If I can share screen real quick, I'm going to do that. And right here is where you can see all of those details. Scott, can you see that? Okay. So it's our 2021 Give United drawing. And there's a picture of those cars or truck and all of the fine detail. So I'm going to stop sharing screen. I do want you to know, and you can tell your fellow colleagues that you don't necessarily have to give to United Way to do it. What you do have to do is fill out a postcard and tell us why United Way is important in our community, or put that in your own words and send that in. So this really is available to everyone in our community in Olmsted County. Our second incentive is a Leaders in Giving Challenge Match. So the purpose of our Leadership Challenge Match is designed to encourage new and or increase leaders in giving gifts. And what that means is $500 or more unrestricted to United Way of Olmsted County. And this is being made possible by businesses and families in Olmsted County. Some of those businesses include Shields, Think Bank, and there's going to be some others as well. We're finalizing all of that by August 31st. So you'll be able to share that opportunity with your employees and also who's making that possible. So look for more information on that and how to promote that to your fellow employees. But what that's going to do is provide funds of $100,000 plus to match our Leaders in Giving gifts. So the rules of this is that donors who give $500 or more in 2021, the campaign, to United Way of Olmsted County, any increase in their donation from 2022 will be matched dollar for dollar. So 2 for 1 there. An example is if you give 0 in 2020, but you give 500 in 2021, that full 500 will be matched. If you give 250 in 2020, so last year you committed to 250, this year you're committing to 500, 250 will be matched of that donation. And if you gave 500 last year and you're bumping that up to 1,000, the example would be that your $500 increase will be matched. So that's a $500 match. I know that it's really hard to explain, but I am going to try to make it as easy as possible, and we are going to make that as easy as possible for you. But really what we're trying to do is encourage people to give more or think along those lines of maybe I can give $500, maybe I can give more. And once we break that down of how much that is per pay period, it really makes it that much more accessible for people when they think about it. When you use that what does your dollar do chart, when you break it down, it really is not that as significant when you break it down by payroll. So 26 payrolls, for example, you know, that's going to be a lot less when you break it down over 26 pay periods versus just thinking about giving $500 out of your wallet today. So that's available until the funds are exhausted. Now, I know you might have other questions, so we can answer those questions at the end of this presentation, but I want to now kick it over to Lakin, who's going to talk about affinity groups.
All right, so we have a lot of exciting incentives like Jennifer just talked about. And the other side of the incentives or becoming kind of recognized as a leader in giving are opportunities to really get involved with our organization, with our community impact in a deeper, more meaningful level. And, you know, this is for people who are looking to give, but also dive deeper. So our affinity groups really accelerate our community goals by bringing people with a shared experience together. So I'm going to share screen. This is page, I want to say 12 or 13 in that Workplace Champion Guide. And here are the 5 different community or affinity groups that we have. So we want everyone to have a seat at the table. And these groups are a way to do that. And as an opportunity for, you know, women, leaders in giving, people that are Alexis de Tocqueville Society level givers to really come together to network and to rally around a specific goal or project that's part of United Way. So there will be opportunities to volunteer, to advocate, to socialize, even opportunities to get more involved with our community impact, serving on a research team or listening team or review panel. So it really is offering that behind the scenes access to United Way. And we also have step up opportunities to get involved with these affinity groups. So for example, Women United, these members are giving an annual investment of $650 or more. But you can have a 3-year step up goal. So in the first year, you're pledging a certain amount with the anticipated goal of getting to that $650 amount in year 3. But in year 1, you're being recognized or have access to that Women United membership at the start. So, you know, we want these opportunities to be accessible to everyone, but we really have these groups set up to to build more coalition and commitment in our community. I want to highlight our Always United, which is currently in launch mode. So this is created for employees or individuals who are planning to retire, on track to retire, or who have retired. So HR managers, you know, this is a good opportunity to really continue to thank your employees and make your employees feel like they can still stay connected to their community and even share their skills or specialties that they had in the workplace to advance our community impact efforts. So another thing that I wanted to highlight again is that calendar of events. So some of these events are hosted by our affinity groups. So examples, Women United Social at the Castle, that's one. Our Women United series, Rebuilding the Future of Connections and Public Health Priorities. That is also another good opportunity here. So again, this calendar, and then going back to the giving communities that are in your Workplace Champion Guide, which describes the different groups in depth. So with that, I will go to Amy, who's going to talk more about community engagement, which all of these groups are also involved in as well.
Fabulous. Good morning, everyone. I'm Amy. Like I said earlier, I'm the Advocacy and Engagement Coordinator. And just a little bit about me, I love to read and I also love to volunteer. So it's a perfect fit that I am in this role. So when we zoom out on our big 3 pillars, like Scott mentioned, health, education, and financial stability, one word that I use to describe United Way is convener. So we convene groups that are in those impact areas so that we can work together and work on the same issues and make a bigger dent, if you will, in our community's greatest problems. How can we find the greatest solutions? Working together. So we see that volunteering is critical, not only with United Way, but with our partners as well. So it's super exciting that part of my role is to support those nonprofits that need volunteers and support people that want to volunteer. So we call this corporate engagement, 2 fancy words, but really it's volunteering or advocating as a team. So during campaign, I think a lot of times people think of just giving, which is great. It's a fantastic opportunity to give. But a challenge that we have for you is to design a volunteer or advocating experience that will be impactful for your community at your company. So you know your colleagues best. You maybe have philanthropic goals as an organization posted on your website, thinking critically about, what are our skills as accountants or as city parks department employees? Depending on your skills, could you transfer them to a meaningful volunteer opportunity? And really, the options are endless, and that can be both great and a little scary. So we've created a toolkit that narrows it down to current, relevant opportunities to volunteer and advocate in your community. You can use this as a tool or just as a brainstorming session. Maybe you sit down with those 2 people or 3 people on your workplace champion team and you go through. Maybe you want to do an in-person opportunity this winter, or maybe you want to do a remote opportunity. The options are endless. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. It's available on our website as well, so you can go back and refer to it. But again, using it as a brainstorming, maybe you have another idea that's not listed. Great. Work with me then to make that opportunity come to life. So on our corporate engagement page, it'll be under the campaign, corporate engagement. You'll see this lovely roll up your sleeves banner, and it just gives a nice overview of what it is. Like I said, 2 big words, but simplified: volunteering or advocating in the community. So you'll see some lovely pictures of last year's campaign. We have a bunch of companies that still did really great projects, meaningful. We had a food drive for community schools, Running Start for School, and we had another community schools drive. Here is that toolkit I mentioned. I'll just click there, and it's 6 pages. Volunteering in person, we have on page 2 to 4, and remote volunteer opportunities 5 to 6. So what I do is put out an ask to our nonprofit partners. I kind of serve as like the middle woman, if you will, and I ask them what their needs are and what they need a team to help with. So this is kind of what they said. You'll see different opportunities on the left here, and then a slight or a little description of what that means and a link to their website. You can look through briefly. Maybe your team is interested in doing something outside. Maybe your team really cares about food security or education. There's hopefully something for everyone here. And as you're browsing through, you'll notice each page at the bottom says contact me, just a gentle reminder that I'm here to help you. You don't have to go it alone, and we can really work together to set a date. Maybe someone from our team can come out and explain the impact, because so often that reflection piece is lost. We don't have context, people aren't going to feel as great about the work that they did. So having someone come out from United Way and explain and thank them, that goes a long way. So again, contact me if you're looking to schedule your corporate engagement activity as part of campaign or year-round. The other piece that I get the privilege to talk to you about is the Equity Challenge. The 21-Day Equity Challenge isn't necessarily a new concept, but United Way of Olmsted County is localizing it to be fit for our community. So a few years back, 3 people developed this challenge. Their names are Dr. Eddie Moore Jr., Dr. Marguerite Pennick Parks, and Debbie Irving. What is it? The 21-Day Equity Challenge is a powerful opportunity to every day develop a deeper understanding of inequity and racism here in Olmsted County. It's 21 days long, but only 15 minutes per day of self-guided learning. Now, what does that look like? Every day during the week, so a weekday, if someone signs up for this challenge, they will get an email in their inbox, and it might look like this. You'll have one theme, one quote, and then a couple paragraphs. You'll learn about that theme on your own whenever works in your day. Maybe every day at 8 a.m. you want to start your day with some learning. Maybe every evening before you log off your computer, you want to start your learning. You'll dive into that topic. It'll be, again, localized to United Way of Olmsted County or just Rochester in general. And then after you learn, you will pick one item to further your learning. Maybe that's a podcast. Maybe it's an article. Maybe it's a glossary of terms that you want to familiarize yourself with, or a TED Talk. All of these things will be on that theme, and you can pick whatever you're interested in. And maybe you're interested in more, great. But we really encourage folks to spend just 15 minutes, because we know that if it's a small ask throughout a longer period of time, it'll have a deeper impact. So this is an example of what it looks like. I want to show you the sneak peek of what we're giving to our workplace champions and other organizations that want to get involved. This is not live yet, but it will be soon. So this is our website, again, under construction, but we have a promotional toolkit for this opportunity because we want it to be super easy for your employees and your colleagues to get involved. So this page includes a basic description. What is it? It also includes a flyer. So there are really 3 steps. If someone wants to get involved, it can feel confusing. All they have to do is go to our website, challenge 2 friends if they'd like, and then each day of that challenge, read, watch, or listen to one thing. It starts on October 4th, by the way. Well, what are the topics that we're diving into? This is our themes that we will be tackling as a community. We're hoping to get over 1,000 people signed up for this. It's free for all. So on day 1, everyone will be diving into the theme race and racial identity. On day 11, we're talking about disability. On day 18, we're talking about education. And the stats and the stories, they'll be localized. The resources will certainly be localized if possible, and it's going to be a really cool opportunity. We know that also, this is just another calendar. We know that also you might want to share this opportunity with clients. If you're, let's say, Shields, and you want to share that with people that come into your store, or maybe you're a bank and you want to share that with your clients. You can post these images on social media if you so choose, or maybe embed them in an email for your colleagues to sign up. We want it to be very simple for you to get the word out. Lastly, we have a PSA, public service announcement, under construction or development. That will be from KTTC, and that's coming soon. We'll also have a press release if you'd like to share that. All optional, of course. What is live already is if someone Googles it, searches our page, you'd be able to see this page. It has all the themes so far. Each day, like I mentioned, you'll get an email, but it'll also be archived on our website. So on day 1, October 4th, we'll put all the information clicked to this image on day 1. And then we'll go through as a community, learn more about justice and equity. We hope that everyone will sign up at your company. We'll also have 2 different days that you can come into our office to have a community conversation if your employees are interested, or we welcome that you host those at your workplace. Maybe every Friday during the challenge, you just sit down and have a lunch conversation about what you're learning. It's a really great opportunity to dig deeper and have the resources to do that. So we'll let that sink in. I'm going to hop over to Madeline and she'll talk to you next. And then if you have any questions about the equity challenge, please write them down and we can address those.
Thank you, Amy. I'm just going to talk briefly about our virtual pledge form. This is something that I developed last year in response to the remote working conditions that the pandemic forced on a lot of us. And we know that many offices are still in remote or hybrid conditions. So this is something that we are offering again this year in case you would like to use it for your campaign. So I'm just going to share my screen and walk through it quickly. Scott did allude to earlier that I have filmed an instructional video, and so that's a bit longer. It's on our website, so that is available for later reference as well. Let me just share here. Okay, can you all see that? Okay, great. So this is what it looks like. It is customized to each workplace. So each workplace would get their own link, and all you would have to do is email that link out to your employees, and they can give directly through this link. So basically, this is the pledge form page. It looks, it has similar areas to what you would be familiar with on a paper pledge form, but we did include some of our more specific initiatives as well. So you're probably used to seeing education, health, and financial stability as designation areas on our paper pledge form. But on the virtual pledge form, we also have opportunities to give into even more specific buckets and areas that we're working on in the community. You'll see a learn more button on each of these, and that just brings you to a page where you can learn more about that initiative, or for example, with education, learn more about our work in education and all of the partners we work with and our own initiatives as well. At the bottom here, we do have the option to designate to any registered 501c3, so any nonprofit. This is similar to what we have available on the paper pledge form. So if you were to use this option or use this option and the paper pledge forms, just know that this is still available through the virtual pledge form as well. So that's really all I'm going to go over today, just to keep things short, as I know we are running up against 9 a.m. But I'm available if you have questions, and I can certainly send out the link to the longer video, which can be used for your reference, but also is an instructional video for like employees who would be using this to pledge if you did choose to use this. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh. And I'll hand it back over to Scott.
All right, great. Thanks everyone for presenting. I hope everybody got great information there. One thing I do want to do real quick is just make sure that we give you the opportunity, one, if you have any particular success stories of your campaigns, to help share it. I think people learn a lot from other people that have walked through this exact situation that they're going to go through as a workplace champion. So please share any stories that you might have, any events that worked really well, any best practices, as well as if you have any questions, of course, we're happy to take those now as well. Alicia, I know like you from Southeast Service Cooperative, you've won an award before. I don't know if maybe perhaps you would have anything that you found effective there?
We just always try to keep it fun. And like the first year that we did it, we were like cheerleaders, and we spoofed one of our leadership members, and it was a lot of fun. We did stuff like flee at 3 for anybody who donated, so they could get off at 3 o'clock. Can't remember, they got thank you candy bars if they donated, and just little stuff like that.
That's great. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna jump in here and put Kelsey on the spot just because she's a friend of mine, and I know that she has a really great campaign. It's very engaging, and they also match dollar for dollar in their campaign. Kelsey, can you share just a few of the highlights from last year, or I can remind you if you don't remember all of those?
Oh, no, I can share. I figured you'd put me on the spot. With US Bank, we are required to do everything virtually last year and then again this year. So we had to kind of think outside the box a little bit on how to, follow our company's policy and, still make it a great campaign, especially when we run an entire month campaign. So it goes from September 1st through October 1st. And last year we did some really fun things. We did a 5K walk, and that was great because I invited Jen to come to it. So we did have someone from United Way there, which definitely reach out to anyone from United Way because they always want to be involved in that. We did that on a Saturday morning. It was a half an hour long, and it was nice because even as a team, we all got to spend time together, which we hadn't spent time together for months at that point, and now it's been almost a year and a half. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing that one again. We had a huge turnout with that. Gosh, Jen, how many people do we have? Maybe 20? Oh, I think you're on mute still. So I think we had about 20 people. And then with that one too, I also invited friends, close friends of ours. So it wasn't just a workplace one. We had friends come and join us on that walk just to kind of work on bringing more community participation in. So that was one thing we did. The other one we did was a little bit better. So a group of us got together and we went and cleaned up an area. So last year we did the kind of RCTC area where there was a lot of litter left over. So, and that was interesting. And so we did that. We also do an online auction as well. So we have kind of each department of the bank donates either basket or anything like that, which I was going to try to reach out to more businesses to see if they would like to, donate to try to, that's kind of our biggest fundraiser we have internally. And so that has always been a lot of fun. We, things like my boss would donate his parking pass for a month or, silly things like that. Or we would do a fundraiser to have a huge bonfire at his house that he puts on every year. So different things that incorporated the team along with, auction items for gift baskets. So those are kind of some of our highlights we've done in the past when we were allowed to be together as a group. We would do, a chili cook-off or some of those things, which obviously we can't do this year. So I'm always open to ideas if anyone has more ideas on how to do things virtually, because that's always a challenge. And then especially because we have a bunch of different locations. So sometimes it's hard to get other groups of people together that aren't directly, in our office working with us as much. So that's one area of improvement we could definitely work on, and definitely open to advice if anyone has any.
Yeah, sorry, now that I am unmuted, I can share my excitement for that day that I participated in. We got the best pictures ever. If you want to see what it looks like to enjoy and be together, I think we put the t-shirts, the United Way t-shirts on your dogs, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We put them on our dogs. We have
That was-
German Shepherd and St. Bernard. So everyone brought their dogs, they brought their kids. Maybe there was closer to 30 people. It was a
There was a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best things too that I got to do was share our Born Learning Trail, which is another United Way product. And so we walked the Born Learning Trail. So people not only got together for that 5K to raise money, but they also got an opportunity to learn about our Born Learning Trail, which that Born Learning Trail just got revitalized. So it's even better right now.
Yeah, and it was really fun. I think I'm going to expand on that a little bit this year because we did it. Okay, I'm newer to Rochester. Jen, what's the park that we started at?
It's by Silver Lake.
Yeah, so we went to that park, and that park, if you guys have kids or people that you're working with have kids, was fantastic because the kids went and played while we were kind of getting ready. I think we started at like 9 in the morning. So the kids went and played. And then after we got back, they all went and played a little bit more. So that was fun too, because it gave the kids something else to do other than just like go on a 5K walk. But
it was just, I wanted Kelsey to share that with you because it was perfect. I mean, that is textbook workplace champion running the campaign. So if you want to know how to run a campaign, I believe Kelsey is a great example. We have other companies that run great campaigns. Shields is one that we just kicked off, and then we're sharing some exciting stuff that we learned from the Shields experience that we can share with you. I really encourage you to come to the third training because that's when we're going to talk about all these fun things to do and to share ideas. I think what I've learned over the years being with United Way and running United Way campaigns is the fun really makes your campaign. So we love to raise dollars, of course, because the more dollars that we can raise, the more we can invest in our community. But I think the fun and the engagement and learning about United Way is, the key to all of it. So you know, if you can take bits and pieces of what other people are doing and put your own fun into it, I really, you know, you're going to have a successful campaign. And we try to make it as easy as possible and support you because we want you to be successful.
Great. Well, we're running right on the hour here, so I just want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you for being a workplace champion, taking the time out of your day to join us today. Can't tell you how much we appreciate it. A little bit of housekeeping. Last training will be on Thursday at noon. That'll be on our special events. I'm also putting my email here in the chat box. So if you need anything from me, please don't hesitate to reach out. This will be posted online, as well as all the resources that we've mentioned will be sent out to you as well. If you haven't confirmed your campaign dates yet, please do so. Send me an email, let me know when those dates are so I can help support you. Also, make sure that you are wearing your campaign t-shirts. It doesn't really show up as well when I'm sitting here, but make sure you're wearing your campaign t-shirts when you do your campaign. It really helps with the branding, and it will help with bringing your contributions up. So if you haven't told me your t-shirt sizes, let me know those and I can get them out to you. Even if you've already got your materials, just let me know and I'll work to get that to you. Okay. So with that, I'll say good day, and I appreciate everybody coming on.
Thank you, everyone.